All right, another month, another quarter meeting. Um, on my end, I have a bunch of topics that I want to bring up. Mostly um, okay, one thing at a time. First, on HiveMind, there is this issue that we spoke a bunch of times actually about the fact that the air shares and a bunch of values can exceed the big int, and so then they are truncated in the JSON outputs. Um, that apparently has been fixed in Hafar, but not in HiveMind. Um, and as far as I understand, the solution that's been chosen in Hafar has been to display it as a number if it's lower than a big int, and then as text if it's bigger than that. Um, And so I'm okay doing that solution in HiveMind, but I feel like it's not the best of solutions for developers because then they don't know what data type to expect. And like that, I feel like it would be better to have a single data type and just have it as string. And I believe that's the way JSON manages it usually.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you say, but I guess the first thing that occurs to me is it's going to be more work to. I mean, there's also everything that's now depending on the behavior already.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, and I guess my next question is, how often does this really happen in practice? Is this some kind of weird edge case, or is this something we see really happening?
Uh, I haven't, I don't know for sure. I guess I'll have to come back with you on that data. Um,
Yeah, I mean, my thought is it's probably a weird edge case, but I
mm,
might be wrong.
It
Just a
yeah,
guess.
it could be like very big trending posts where like I don't know, you and Smooth and Gandalf vote on a bunch of on like probably all of Burn posts is probably like this, for instance. Um, because it's when there is a lot of air shares on the thing, or like a lot of vote weight is
Okay.
combined. Um, so I guess if we want to make a decision here, I guess we can like agree on like like I can come back with the data, and if this happens like on a because we have the data, so we can just look it up on
Yeah,
like
yeah. That's probably
the thing.
let's figure
If
that out first. I
if
think.
if this happens on a bunch of if this happens on like let's say more than 30% of posts, then maybe we talk about a text-based solution. But if this happens on like very few posts, then I guess I'll change it to the half situation
Okay,
where I
seems
convert
like
it.
a good way to go.
Um, so yeah, I've been working on that. It's always a pain to work on like stuff like this on HiveMind because there's literally 1 million tests that depend on it. Um, so yeah, that's been going on. Second thing is as I was building some documentation for the escrow thing, I noticed that's something that I opened an MR for Bartek. The there is like the way FC assets work is um, some developers put the error within the actual asset, whereas some other developers put it within the macro where it's intended to be, which is technically bad design. But also, I learned that Wax builds IDs off of the string of the error, but only the first part, and so every error needs to be unique. Um, I know that you guys did it, but I don't think I got an answer on that. So I'd be curious to know what does Wax does with the. At this point, it's not really a design question, and I'm kind of considering dropping the MR because it's at this point it's kind of just a code style thing, and the review overhead and like involving everyone on the core change is not really worth the hassle, I think. Um, but I'm kind of wondering what Wax does with the error IDs and why they need every uh, asset to be unique.
Well, FC Assert revolution, which you have touched, actually is progressing at our side, and place which you touched. After my further few things, maybe some changes which you prepared could be useful. But generally, I'd like to avoid messing in this part right now but external guys, because we have a lot internal discussions related to
Mm.
set of errors defined mostly by our Python side and support for Python tests, where a lot of test cases have been prepared, and right now that I analyzed to create set of error classes, error exception classes, which can be acceptable error interface to be published as part of WAX and next regularly maintained. And that's why we decided to introduce some stable identifiers specific to given FC assertions to avoid often stupid updates and parsing problems at client side,
Mm.
leading to parsing really complex error messages produced by given FC assertions. And what worse, such messages often changed just because of some relocations inside C++ code, which was effect of regular changes. For example, sometimes source location of given assertion was changed, and that had impact on final client side error handling and catching to detect some cases. My idea is to introduce some layer of exception which allow most of programmers to tie to given types and actually get in error object most of information which right now must be extracted from error messages, usually by writing complex regular expressions.
Mm.
And introducing regular assertion hashes is actual final point of that, because I suppose that there are some specific cases where we do need to catch exact error to detect some to fire exact exception class in given specific case, and in such ways, in my opinion, there is no other solution than identify given error exact place in Hive node, and then just detect this error at client side in some layer in WAX, and next propagate it to Python or to TypeScript code. We have already done some foundation code which relies in WAX, and right now C++ code is able to retro given assert exception into third-party language. So we are able to deserialize assert exception, for example, thrown at some API call, and then restore it at client code and retro in directly in call by emulating direct exception throw in such API call, what will provide exact information and exact data required to catch some errors. Some good example for such behavior will be, for example, network broadcast calls, where right now you can get cosmic assertion error specific, for example, to missing authority of transaction. And after such changes, I hope you will be able to get more detailed error exception object, providing much more meaningful and simpler in use information. And that's whole aspect of such changes. And introducing some messages to assert conditions, what you found was just effect of making such conditions unique, and
Mm.
there was no other intention to do that. Maybe we can get similar solution to in few cases by renaming, for example, false condition to some local variable having unique name, and then separating message to another FC assert parameter. But mostly that was a reason for such changes. And we will also perform some other small modifications in such assertion instantiations by adding there some categories on some other additional data to be stored in assertion objects, which will help to identify such edge cases at client side and simplify error processing. So that will be further progressing process. And what I'd like just to say, I'd like to avoid some conflicts in work here,
Mm.
because you really it needs a lot of consultation and a lot of discussions just to know exact detailed case and analyze it deeply.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Well, okay. Thank you for the very big overview. That's quite interesting to hear about. Yeah, okay. I think I'll drop the MR then, and I'll let you do the overhaul, and I'll focus on other things meanwhile.
Anyway, I hope that after this step, we will make really processing errors at Hive much uh, code friendly, because
Mm.
right now it's a nightmare. And it really can be seen during our testing code, where some specific cases have to be detected. And to do that, some guys had to define strange regular expressions, and had a lot of headaches when such error locations changed, and generally maintaining that it was very tedious
Mm.
process.
All right. Yeah, I imagine, especially given that some of the error strings have some typos here and there, or like badly formatted English. Um, but yeah, okay. That's really it for me, I think.
Okay. On our side, um, mostly been, I guess, preparing and testing associated with the release. Um, we just tagged 1.28.3 of HiveD last night um, after testing it the day before. And the latest changes were mainly changes associated with snapshots. We found while doing testing of the new 1.28.0 that there were couple various issues with snapshots. Sometimes there are cases where snapshot might be loaded twice unnecessarily, and there were also some other loading problems. But that all seems to be fixed now, so we've got that up. Uh, we also noticed in the process, I think Dracos reported, we'd kind of seen it before, that when you load a snapshot, the amount of memory consumed is lower because I guess because the data is better allocated, so there's not any holes, basically no fragmentation. So I'm kind of interested to see how long that lasts. So I think we'll probably do a test before too long to test how quickly a non-fragmented one starts fragmenting again, to see if there's any benefit to using snapshots for that purpose at all. We'll see. Um, Beyond that, uh, I've been primarily involved in testing the new stack for half. Naturally, with the hard fork coming, all the existing API node stacks will break if they're still using the old version of half. I mean, a whole version of Hive. So it just makes sense now. It's a good time to release a new version of the half stack as well. So we're in final testing of 1.28.3 of the half stack at this point. Um, so I expect that's going to be released early this week. I think we're some few errors have been reported I need to check into. I just saw them today, but it seems quite close to being ready. Um, so that'll include HiveSense. There were a lot of changes made to HiveSense in the last little bit. We especially related to how the search results are returned and things like that, and also in terms of efficiency of building the HiveSense index and stuff like that. I've actually written a post about that earlier, so it covers that in more detail. What else? It's actually been so many things going on there. It's kind of hard for me to keep track anymore, and I don't have a lot of notes for it because I slept late before this meeting. I'm still recovering a bit from a cold I got right after Hive Fest, so it's kind of left me a little less clear than normal, let's say. Um, what else? I guess other than other than the half, I did want to find out from Bartek where we are with Wax, and I didn't get a chance to meet with him before the meeting. So, Bartek, could you give us a quick update on the state of Wax right now?
Yes, of course. We have actually released that first version closely matching in Python and TypeScript version of Wax. It was published at PyPy and NPM public registry together with high-level documentation and official snippets and examples, which are required to um, easily start using it, and I hope they could be really helpful. Such versions, I hope, mm, also are providing generated API calls which are generated from Swagger descriptions of JSON RPC calls. So we have both things cooked right now. First is very good Swagger documentation pointing JSON RPC calls, which immediately allows to try given call. And I hope we should soon replace old developers Hive.io with similar documentation created from such swaggers, or just point such documentation there to avoid confusion and some not updated descriptions in APIs. And after that, it allows to to import some call wrappers specific to Wax, and this way you can use support in IntelliSense and typed calls at Python or TypeScript code just to perform API calls. Such definitions are also generated from Swagger descriptions. So this way, you always will take actual API definitions and description of parameters and results, which can be received from given calls. For the other changes, we have lately introduced support for several signers in Wax. That is mostly important for front ends because right now it can be very easily used together with separate signers like Keychain, like PigG Vault, our Beekeeper, our Hive Beekeeper authorization module, which also checks some account authorities. And for the latest changes done actually today, we are planning to extend Wax by support for dedicated meta operation methods to simplify using authority updates after hardware 28 activation. and for providing functionality to vote for posts using old behavior pre-Hartford 28. This way, if some front end will support old voting, it will lead just to use such function. Otherwise, voting scheme activated on hard fork will be used. For the authority updates, we found some case which after activating hardware 28 feature limiting authority role required authority role to the role used at signing because new hard fork disallows to sign transaction by role higher than required. For example, you can't process transaction signed by active key when only posting role was needed, when hard fork will be activated. And the same, of course, occurs for owner and active authorities. We imagined that some people, which, for example, lost their active key, will try to update their authority by assigning new active key and immediately sign it using owner authority. Currently, it works, of course, but after activating hard fork, it will be rejected by blockchain because updating active key requires only active level of authority. So to enforce that, we will prepare some snippet in Wax to show how to prepare blockchain directly blockchain operation to allow such owner authority usage and also extend Wax authority update meta operation just to generate such internal operation by simple method call and simplify such adjusting operation by most of programmers if needed. So in my opinion, both implementations will be needed to simplify using our chain after this hard fork, and they should also avoid some confusion that signing transaction using owner in some cases will be rejected because someone would like to update their authority and probably it is not expected to reject it as currently it will be always accepted. So that's our plans mostly for now. In longer perspective, we are planning probably somehow split Wax by functionality. So I mean to slightly extract API calling part to make this library much lighter than currently and allow to load it in much more concurrent process than currently. And also further improve Python version, which mostly is matching TypeScript 1, but still Python has missing some features, mostly because of lack of fundamental support in Python language. That part is mostly specific to formatters section, which requires some changes in, in Python. Fortunately, upcoming, and they will be released in Python 3.14. But right now, such support is not available yet there.
Okay, makes sense. Let's see. Anything else to mention? I guess I mentioned this in my post last night, but also just mention it here. We modified the half API node script to add a new service called Hive, which allows you to use the scripts just to run a witness and with a with a feed. So this is kind of our solution for replacing the Hive in a Box solution, which I guess isn't maintained anymore. So that's available. If you already know how to use Half API Node, it's quite easy to set up a witness with it. Other than that, what else? Undoubtedly some more stuff, but I can't recall right offhand. Guess I'll pass it on to McFarhat.
Yeah, hello guys. Can you hear me well? I was barely hearing you in the last few sentences, Dan.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, fantastic. All right, guys. So I guess we'll give you a few updates from our end. First, in terms of front end for the Block Explorer, we just added last month filtering for incoming, outgoing operations on a user profile. I know, Gandalf, you were looking forward to seeing that. So we have that now available as part of the Block Explorer. You can filter incoming, outgoing operations. There's something I mentioned after the updates, a quick discussion with you, Dan, about this thing. So we added also a major feature recently, which is an interactive influence and delegation map. So in the user profile, now we have a new analytics section that allows you to view a first chart, which shows what delegations this user has sent out and has received. But also when clicking on other users, it will create a chain of what this user also has delegations coming or outgoing to other users. So it becomes a chain or a map of everything that's happening. Yes, exactly. You can view it on Test Explorer, by the way. I just updated it earlier today. So if you go to user profile, just click on the analytics tab and add or activate this delegation. You can see everything visually. You can move things around, and there are different modes. It's pretty neat functionality, I would say. What else? Okay, so we also added improvements to our top holders page, as we recently had the API available. So now you can paginate, you can view number of results. We also linked the delegation balance in the wallet of the user profile to the delegations list so that you can go directly to view who are your delegations, delegators, outgoing or incoming. A feature I really like personally is about the market rate. So if you perform the transaction on the market, whether it's an open market order or a fill market order, we now appended the rate at which the transaction was executed, the average rate, of course. So this makes it easy for you to just skim through your history and see at what rate have you bought Hive or sold Hive. Yeah. Okay, what else? We added a toggle for HP and VES in the mini chart, and we're working on that also in the balance history chart. There were some improvements for the search functionality across all the sites because it wasn't always refetching data if there was no change in the search functionality.
Like the inputs to the search, even if the outputs are changed, it wasn't.
Exactly. Okay. So if you click search, you get your latest records, and if you click search again, you're stuck with those, so you're not getting any updates. Yeah. Okay. What else? Okay. So there's the proposal funding chart. We have this chart that we are showing at the top in the proposal page. So now clicking on the proposals will actually scroll you down to the detailed proposal view. We worked on Health Checker. We added the translation. So now we actually imported or included all the translations inside Health Checker, whatever wording is relevant to this. And you just need to send a props value, a local value to Health Checker, so that if we're running on Dancer or Block Explorer and you just pass the correct param, Health Checker will display translated on the fly. So this still needs to be merged by Jakob. It's been, I think it's done for maybe 10 days or more. What else? There was improvements in layouts, progress bars, user profile layout. We also added transaction byte size to the transaction view. I really liked how Transaction Inspector does this calculation. So we kind of built something very similar using similar code so that we can get the byte size of every transaction in the Block Explorer. Okay, more on the back-end side now. So, so the many issues that my dev reported about the negative and zero block checks in Swagger APIs. So most of these have been fixed, whether on Balance Tracker, half BE, transfer stats. So probably all of these are getting shipped now. We've expanded the top holders API, so the rich list, to add more availability, how many, the total number of accounts being returned by the API, the total pages. These were missing, so we were just displaying up to 2,000 records. Now you can display or paginate through the whole history or the whole list. We expanded the proxied list API so that it also includes more records. There were few I think accounts that have more than 100 proxied accounts to their proxying.
Wow.
Yeah, so instead of 100, we increased the limit so that we can cover everyone on the chain. There aren't many, but I mean we just wanted to cater for it. Yeah. What else? So I think Mahdi finalized the escrow balances then in the balance tracker account balance API. So now we have 3 fields which returned any values currently in escrow, HBD, Hive, and the number of escrow currently pending. Okay, I think also Dima today, my dev, she almost finalized the modular dashboard. This is a great thing. I mean, I really love the work she did there. This also on the front end. I haven't merged it yet to test Explore, but I mean, you can do whatever you want with your front page of the Block Explorer. Just move things around, shuffle things, add separators, add headers, add titles, add whatever you want. This is pretty drastic. I just love it. I think I'll probably we will not include it in the standard version. Once we have, because we're planning to do some sort of login or authentication to the Block Explorer. Once that is implemented, then we can allow the user to customize their Block Explorer so that they can add widgets, add cards, remove cards, mess around with things. Okay, what else? So currently, I think total value locked is in progress. It's not done yet. So we're trying to just get a snapshot of everything that is locked in value currently, like a number of vests, a number of savings in HBD, number of savings in Hive, to give like a perception to the outside world what's really locked in value. You know, like the value of chain in locked amount, kind of what you see in other chains. So hopefully you should have this API and then have it also on Block Explorer. Our development Half API node is in replay now. So we're replaying, I think, 28.1. One thing I did notice, Dan, not sure if you saw Mattermost, probably the issue with that. Yeah,
I don't know what it meant, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah, not sure. I tried, you know, I thought maybe the index was fixed, so I tried with the Block Explorer call, the comments, and I got all these errors. So I wasn't sure, and then I saw the MRs, and then I thought maybe it's still not fixed. So
it could be, yeah, it could be. Well, I just saw the merge request just came in today, so
yeah.
I didn't get a chance to review it in detail.
Yeah, sure, no problems. Just wanted to bring it to your attention because it's a nasty bug. It's I mean, we don't want this to show on the API node.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's see what else. So there's regarding the incoming outgoing filter, the API. So by default, it's now including the virtual ops, you know, like producer rewards or other rewards currently shown in outgoing transactions. And I understood from Michael you had a thorough discussion about this. Now, to me, it sounds a little bit counterintuitive to show rewards coming to the user as outgoing transactions, right? I understand the reasoning because the user did an action to receive these rewards, but it sounded a bit counterintuitive. I don't know if you're flexible about this, or maybe at least to add some sort of a flag to maybe not display these transactions as outgoing.
Well, I guess the difference normally is, I guess incoming means things that you did, and outgoing means things that other accounts did. So you're talking about a third category, which is neither the user nor other people, but it's just results. It's really virtual operations aren't even operations in a traditional sense. They're just results of operations. They're things that happen because of an earlier operation, right? Or not even necessarily an early operation. They're just things the blockchain is reporting. So they really fall into a completely different category from ingoing and outgoing from that point of view. If I guess you're talking about whether to I mean, I suppose the filtering them one way or the other is pretty simple, I think, because they should all be marked as virtual operations, I assume. So, yeah, if you're talking about just having some way to filter them in the UI, I think that's, perfectly straightforward thing you might want to do.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, for me, from the UI, I thought that, like, if you think about include or exclude, we're considering like exclude would be incoming transactions. So if a user receives a vote on his post from, let's say, you or someone else, this is incoming, right? And if he voted on your post, this is outgoing. If we're checking the profile of, let's say, Howo, and we're checking what incoming transactions came to Howo, a vote from BlockTrades would be incoming, and his vote on BlockTrades post would be outgoing. So if we look at the virtual transactions right now, they fall under the umbrella of outgoing, while they are coming to his account. Like, these are transactions or things that are being.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I just think they're different from either. I think there's really three classes of things. I think there's things you do, there's things other people do, and there's things that happen the blockchain.
Blockchain does. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I guess, I mean, that's fine. Also, maybe we will add maybe a third toggle, not only incoming, outgoing, maybe VOps or blockchain or.
Yeah, I think in Ethereum they call them events. They don't even call them operations.
Yeah.
Which I think is probably more logical than virtual operations, but.
Okay, very good.
We're kind of stuck with the term now because it's been around since the beginning.
True. Okay, what else? I really think this is basically as an overview from our work.
Okay.
And the last,
yeah,
go ahead.
I was gonna say last night I was playing around. I thought up one feature that might be interesting to add. So right now for the witnesses voting, we have pretty good analysis of how we like reporting changes in voting and things like that. Like I think we have reported vote changes in a day. I thought it'd be, definitely think it'd be useful to have the same thing for proposal voting, basically.
Yes, I love that. I thought about it a time ago. I haven't just put in an issue for it, but that makes a lot of sense. So, like, historical proposal voting, right? Who's voting and who's removing votes?
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that would be definitely. I mean, I would have found it handy when I was trying to figure out how the votes had changed. So.
I agree. Yes. Okay. So yeah, that of course we need an API and front end for that. Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. So the last thing I wanted to add was actually not on this side on ActiveIt, because we added a Hisense search on ActiveIt Web. So I really loved Hisense and the AI search, and I tested it and I find it very, very useful. Of course, there's a lot of things that we probably need to add. I mean, for the simplest thing, maybe like a time frame for the search results. Most of the results that are coming through, at least from my queries, I'm spotting them to be really old. 9 years, 7 years. So probably.
Yeah, I think there's at least two filters I definitely want to add in the next release. One is what you're talking about, time, and the other one is like I want to be able to do it by account, so you can say that I'm looking for a post by a particular account.
Yeah,
But
that makes sense.
I think Asgarth created an issue for some of the things he was looking for. You might want to look at that issue, and then if you see things you like, I don't know if he had the time range or not on there, but if not, that's probably another thing that should be added to that issue.
Yeah, sure. I'll have a look into that. And aside from that, I guess we just have our proposal. Hopefully, we get funded, and we're just trying to continue the work as much as possible.
Yeah, I hope so. Maybe you guys should contact. I mean, I think you probably need a vote from They Call Me Dan, but maybe you guys tell them what what you're doing, and maybe that'll convince them to vote for you.
Yeah, I tried to reach out. I mean, he said he'll look at it, but haven't heard anything yet. So yeah, I'll try. And either way, thank you guys. Thank you. That's it from my side.
Okay, Spirit Search, did you have anything you wanted to report today?
Yeah, I have a couple of things. Regarding the development aspect, we are basically now going to prep the promoter Hive site to be ready for 2026 data. That is the accounts creation, and any transactions that are basically happening regarding the onboarders. We are also going to take this 1 or 2 months to start closing off this year and to get the true retention data, as to how we have performed in 2025. And if we have time, then we'll do a comparison of how it compared to 2024, whether it was good, whether it was bad, did we lose more, did we lose less, and stuff like that. We are planning regarding the onboarders to take the transactions from each of the onboarders from the day the accounts was created, and to do a calculation of, are these onboarders essentially are extractors, or have they put something in, basically how much in the negative they actually are, and so stuff like that. But this is down 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 the line. Whether it happens, doesn't happen is another thing. That's regarding the development side. Regarding my visit to Blockchain Live, there was a couple of stuff, regarding, like, I reached out to 20 exchanges. Some of them were looking forward. It's a long communication that's going to happen over time. The only thing that was interesting was TokenSpot, who said that they weren't interested in listing Hive, because they only list stable coins, and they were more interested in listing HBD.
Okay.
And basically, they asked for some data of how stable HBD is. Mahdi had this site, which I basically sent to them. They're looking at it. If it turns out to be good, then great. So that's regarding this. Regarding the blockchain life itself, basically I came across 3 community reward models from Polkadot, Ton Foundation, and Cardano. And the one that was most impressive to me was Cardano. I'm just going to put the link here if anyone wants to read up how they do stuff. So it's actually very interesting. They basically have a community review system. So what happens is someone drops a proposal, and then there is a community reviewer who's educated in that particular sector. He looks through all of the project, and then he does basically he looks at some metrics like feasibility, and if it's like short-term benefit, long-term benefits, stuff like that. And so it's quite interesting. I think if we could take some of these things and put it in the proposal aspect, I think it would make it easier for the proposals to reach out to more people. Because let's say if there is a proposal by McFarhat, or there's a proposal by Hovo, they're way more technically detailed, and people can't just look at it and say, oh, you know what, this is useful to us, because they don't know whether it's useful or not. So a community reviewer system would be good, because in the end, the only thing people would want to see is metrics. Oh, you know what, feasibility is high. Oh, you know what, this is low. Oh, this is good. Stuff like that. And that would help the devs to get more votes, as opposed to just relying, like, getting more votes from the average person, as opposed to just relying on Wilt. Anyways, this is one of the things I really liked. It's completely community based, and they have a good system. Cardano has a good funding system. It's very meticulous and it's very detailed, and it's like a period of, it takes like when a proposal is dropped, it takes around 3 months from reward to fund, giving funds, because in that, so it takes 1 month whether it's rewarded, okay, you're gonna get, you're selected. Then it's like 2 months of, okay, present your plan and then polish that plan, and then by the time you polish and everything and you send it out and everything's ready because you have advisors and all of this stuff, then they release the funds. So it's a very well thought out system that has been working for a long time now. They do like 15 million every 3 months dollars. um, so this is like a grant system only. They have another uh, raising system called Plasma, but that's like for people who really stake a lot of ADA. So I mean, so there were like a couple of interesting things there. The another thing that I actually was really interested in, and I thought I should bring it up, is the academy. So like in blockchain life, everyone came in with their strengths. You know what? I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about that. Or I'm going to talk about our real world asset stuff. Polkadot just came in and they only talked about their academy. They only talked about how easy they have made for devs to be onboarded, and their academy is very very detailed. Like they have detailed videos of how a person does something. It was so detailed a layman could just go copy what they did and it would work. So I was really impressed by the fact that just because they did this Polkadot the academy thing, um, after they finished doing their presentation, um, there were tons of people who were just rushing to them saying, hey, can you make it easy for my dev to do it? And how much would it cost to go on Polkadot? So they started asking these questions. It was very interesting to me that it wasn't Justin Sun's $10 million proposal, or Cardano's 15 million, or Ton's 10 million that basically interested them. It was this Polkadot Academy thing that really, really got to them. And I really, really believe that if we want to bring more usability to Hive, because in the end, usability is the king. That's what decides token price, value, and worth. It would be really good if someone could get down and do the academy aspect of it, make it so easy that people can create apps on Hive, regardless of whether they're using layer one tech or layer two tech. So that's regarding this. The third aspect is obviously the Lazy Panda thing. I've already sent you the details. There's certain concern that if the price drops too low, I mean, if you're talking at 0.05, uh, I know we might never get there, but we also could get there. Um, Lazy Panda could take out, turn it into 40 million Hive, and he could basically do an attack. Like there's an attack vector there. Staking it, displacing witnesses, taking over the chain.
Yeah, I don't think that's a serious attack, to be honest.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. If you think that 40 million is not, then I'll just say, okay, yeah, good. Okay, like I'm just thinking with the data I have, based on the people who are active, who are not.
Yeah,
Obviously, yeah, there's alpha, there's a bit stuff. Uh, you know, uh, okay, I was not aware because I was not here when the attack happened. I joined crypto in 2021, and that was through Hive. So there's a lot of information I don't have. But just there were some people worried, and they were messaging me, hey, can you do something about? Can you find out who this guy is? And I just went ahead, found out all the information about him. So yeah, that takes care of this. I that's from my side, but I do have some questions from the other guys regarding the technical aspect, if I'm allowed. Are you guys
wait,
want to
sorry,
wrap
what
up
were you
quick?
saying? I didn't understand what you just said.
No, I have some technical questions
Oh, sure, go
from
ahead.
the other guy. Okay, so the first thing is regarding the denser. I wanted to know, like, when can we get this final version or a more stable version of denser? Because each time, every I mean, I think their commits are like every week, every day, and they're like
Yeah, it's
each
still
issue is
under
being
quite heavy
resolved.
code.
It's a problem because we made this versatile version of denser and we're like integrating Hive into it, but then we come across these issues. Sometimes there's like memory leak issues I'm having, and then there's something else, and then
Yeah,
I find out,
Tensor
okay,
isn't even officially released, honestly. That's why we're still running condenser on hive.blog.
So what do you suggest I do? Just wait until you guys come up with a stable version, a long-term, like
Yeah, I
what do
mean
you suggest?
it's just really just under heavy development still. I mean, we're constantly testing it. I mean, I could go and look at our logs right. I mean, our if I went and looked at our internal chats right now, I'm sure I'd see a bunch of reports of
Oh no,
testing
yeah, I was
going on.
looking at the issues and it just keeps, it's never ending.
Well,
I,
that's
I've,
yeah. It's
I've
just not
really,
finished. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, we've made it available. You can try it if you want. In fact, you can now with the new version, you'll be able to deploy it on a node, on an API node as a auxiliary website. But it's it's definitely got more work.
hmm. Okay, okay. So that's basically what I would want to know. That so whenever it's ready, great. I suppose I can only start
Yeah, well, I
working on
mean,
it.
once we're confident it will we'll update hot.blog itself. So that's when you'll know.
Okay, and the other thing was the wallet aspect of it. So Tensor is working is it already has a, like a wallet hive, like a
Yeah,
wallet
basically
dot
just
hive
like
blog.
Condenser was split into two websites, Denser's done the same thing. There's the blog part and there's the wallet part.
Right, but when I look at the repo, I'm seeing that the Tensor has the wallet aspect as well, and then there's another repo called Hive Wallet.
Oh, so that's a different thing. Maybe Bartek wants to talk about that, the the new wallet website.
Mm. Actually, there is repo called wallet dapp, but
I think that's what he's
probably
probably talking about.
yeah, probably
Probably
that's
that's the confusing name
yeah.
for that.
I'd like just to say, but this page actually is serving our page out dot block out Open Hive network, which allows to much easier integration and sign up for Hive users, and we used it at MetaMask integration. So maybe in further future we'd like to add some more features related to some accounts properties, wallet management integrations across chains using different wallets like MetaMask, Pkeeper, and others. And probably that's the source of application name.
Okay.
But honestly, it is the only wallet it has is in the name. This is integration and sign up page mostly.
Okay. Okay. Uh, okay. Fine.
Ah, but this is not the sorry, this is not the application we talked about.
So so
Hive wallet is something different. Let me check what can
Yeah,
you.
right. So
that's condenser part of the wallet deal.
Ah,
yes, that's what I'm asking. There's Denser that
yeah.
you have a wallet in Denser, and then you have this Denser, the condenser one
Yeah,
that
so
you're
the
maintaining. So
originally in 2016 there was like a condenser that was running both codes, and then there was a separation because of guys were afraid of XSS attacks, which happened. So to divide it to different instances running on a different domains, well, origins. So those are old and obsolete code for the blogging part and the wallet part. Now it's replaced by Tensor. I mean, going.
okay,
Yeah, I think what we need to do, just looking at GitLab, we need to add a description for a wallet DApp, because there's a description for the wallet repo, which says quite clearly the wallet functionality of Condenser, but we don't have a similar description for wallet DApp. So it's one of the few repos where there's no one-line description of what it is. It's just a name. So I think that's why it makes it a bit more confusing.
yeah, that would help. That would help because
Yeah, so
when
probably
I'm
renaming the the repo and that description would be good.
Yeah, both. But at the very least, we could add a description right away
Yes.
and sort of mitigate the immediate problem. Not much work.
okay, great. So for Denser, we're waiting for the official release, which might be down the line.
Yeah, I mean we'd like to do it this year, I think.
Best laid plans.
So
Okay, so that's regarding this. And now the other thing I wanted to touch was at the beginning of the year we were talking about smart contracts on Hive. I've been seeing some stuff like NFT tracker and some other stuff. Just wanted to know like is that like what's the plan for that? How's it coming along?
so NFT tracker's pretty much a separate thing. That was just a thing we did in cooperation with Holozing. They wanted some features for supporting NFTs, just as a really basic concept. But the smart contract system itself, that's still, still in the works. It's all based off half. So half was kind of the first, getting half to where we wanted to be was kind of the first step. And now, I'd most imagine probably we're going to begin seriously on the actual implementation of the smart contract in the coming year.
Okay. Is there anything that we can test right now, or is it still not?
It's all, I mean, half is the basis for it all. So you're testing half, you're understanding a lot of how the basic system's going to work, but there's still, a layer on top of that that's not there at all. It's just, there's documentation about it, but there's design documentation, but that's it.
Okay. 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 Cool. Cool. I guess from what I get is just wait a little bit more to see how things work out. Okay, great, perfect. Yeah, nothing else from my side. The academy thing is something I want to throw in the air. Is that something you think is interesting?
Yeah, it
Should be
sounds
done or not?
interesting. I mean, most of what we've been doing recently, in fact, has been related to making it easier for devs to develop. So I guess with the new release, we probably need to evaluate what could be done to further improve onboarding devs in terms of teaching them stuff. So I think you could take a look at what we've got with 1.28 and match that up against with what you saw and see if you could figure out any places where you think
What did you say? 1.28? What's that like?
the
One?
new release of the half stack.
Oh, okay, okay.
At the top.
I thought you were talking about like a website where you guys hosted videos or something.
No. I'm talking about so I mean this is a lot of this is related to there's a couple things we've done to really try to make it easier to program things, right? So one is the Swagger documentation, right? That's kind of big because it covers all the APIs and you can test them in real time. And they're all, basically available from the websites interactively. The other one is Wax itself. So Wax, we've been trying to basically ease up a lot of the pain points when you're creating an app now. And along with Wax, we've also added things like IntelliSense and things like that. So when you're actually writing the code, your IDE can basically suggest you parameters and things like that. The other thing I think that's going to come in a lot more with all this is simplifying coding with AI too. So basically making it easy to configure an AI that can, that's well set up to help you write code for Hive. So I think that, and then whatever you could take a look at, what kind of gaps we might be able to fill with, I guess, other types of documentation like you're talking about.
Documentation wise, I think we have really good stuff because I've been like looking at the Vax. I've been working with Denser. I've been using Vax, to try stuff out. So it's like documentation wise, it's good. My like movement is towards videos that basically
Okay,
teach how
so
people do
that's
stuff.
what I was trying to figure out was what the gap was in terms of the
No, it
kinds
is
of
because
posting videos.
when we talk to devs, not everyone uses Swagger, and for some guys it's pretty much new thing. Okay, what's Swagger? Like, how do I use that? Obviously, I mean, enough prompts and everything, you can figure stuff out, but not everyone wants to do that, or it doesn't come into their heads. Like, so
They don't
very
even know they can do it. Yeah, so they don't.
yeah, they don't know they can do it until someone makes a video and says, hey, you know what, you could do this, and they're like, oh yeah, I could do that. If like moving towards the video side, smooth
Yeah, I guess one other
clear
thing that I
concise stuff.
should have mentioned too is the snippets, which are basically example codes that do things that you could test and taste
Yes,
live
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like that.
That's
So
also good because I learned how to walk around Vax and Denster using the snippets, so that did help
Yes.
again,
Yeah, I mean, I think some videos that sort of cover those aspects could definitely be useful. At least it would, people who really don't know where to even start, could watch something like that, get a starting point. You'd want to think about it a lot, I think, to make sure you had the right set of steps in terms of how to go. But yeah, I mean, since you have experience in it, might make sense to do something like that.
no, okay. I'll figure something out and make a few videos, put it out to the core devs, see if you guys like it, and if it is something that you think is in the right direction, then maybe it can become something bigger.
Sounds good.
But yeah, because the thing is that like each chain had like 2 or 3 keynotes on different topics regarding their chain. So Cardano had something like AI with blockchain, and then it had this fun thing, and then it had the real world assets. Polkadot had 3 keynotes speaking, and all of them was on the academy, like on different days. Like they literally just focused on the academy, and they're the ones who got the most amount of traffic in terms of devs and people reaching out to them. So it's like it really clicked in my mind that you know what, maybe this is actually a good strat. It works, and I'm seeing it work in front of my eyes. There are Chinese people coming to these guys and saying, "Hey, do you have documentation in Chinese that we can learn?" Because, or if you have like a transcript, and they're saying, "Yeah, we have transcripts that's available for the video that you can automatically just plug it into AI and to convert the video into Chinese." So it was like really impressive stuff that how far they've been thinking about it and how much they focused on the academy part of things. And I think that's if we emulate that, that could have good results for us.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's it from my side. Thank you, guys.
Okay, we've gone over an hour, so I guess probably call it here. See you guys next time.
See you.
Bye,
Thank you.
guys. Bye, guys.
Thanks to you.